नमः सर्वेभ्यः। अद्य मार्च मासस्य द्वितीयदिनाङ्के नागेशभट्टविरचितायाः परमलघुमञ्जूषायाः अध्ययनम् आरभामहे। अस्मिन् वर्गे ग्रन्थस्य परिचयं प्राप्नुमः। आदौ मङ्गलम्। येनाक्षरसमाम्नायमधिगम्य महेश्वरात् कृत्स्नं व्याकरणं प्रोक्तं तस्मै पाणिनये नमः। वाक्यकारं वररुचिं भाष्यकारं पतञ्जलिं पाणिनिं सूत्रकारं च प्रणतोऽस्मि मुनित्रयम्। शिवन्नत्वा हि नागेशेनानिन्द्या परमालघुः वैयाकरणसिद्धान्तमञ्जूषैषा विरच्यते। Okay, for those who are attending our webinar for the first time, I see a couple of new names here. So all attendees are muted by default. So if you have any questions or any doubts, you can either raise your hand. There is a hand icon with an up arrow next to your in your panel. So you can use that to raise your hand so that I can unmute you and let you speak or ask. You can also type in your questions in the question panel and send to me so that I can answer them during the course of the class. After every class, we do the recording of the screen and audio. So the video will be uploaded in YouTube and also the PDF of the notes and audio. All these will be available in our portal sanskritfromhome.in. So if you register in the portal and log in and take this course Paramalaghu Manjusha, you will be able to access all materials. If you have any questions at any time, you can either email our official ID, which is sanskritfromhome@vyomolabs.in, or my personal ID, which is here, saumya.krishnapur@gmail.com. So Paramalaghu Manjusha इत्येषः ग्रन्थः व्याकरणशास्त्रे आर्थिकग्रन्थेषु अन्यतमः। तत्र इदं ज्ञातव्यं, शब्दः इत्यस्ति, शब्दशास्त्रं व्याकरणं। तत्र यदा शब्दः इति पश्यामः तदा शब्दस्य विषये भिन्नाः प्रश्नाः उद्भवन्ति। कतिविधाः शब्दाः सन्ति, तेषु कः साधुशब्दः, को वा असाधुः। एकस्मिन् शब्दे यथा रामः इति एकः शब्दः अस्ति, तत्र प्रकृतिः का, कः प्रत्ययः, कथं निष्पाद्यते शब्दः, सन्धिः, समासः, कारकं, विभक्तिः इत्येवं बहुविधाः विषयाः शब्दानां विषये सन्ति। एते सर्वेपि प्रश्नाः व्याकरणशास्त्रेण उत्तीर्यन्ते। अत एव व्याकरणं नाम शब्दानुशासनं, प्रयुक्तानाम् इदमन्वाख्यानम् इति उच्यते। ये शब्दाः प्रयुक्ताः तेषाम् अन्वाख्यानं क्रियते। व्याक्रियन्ते शब्दाः अनेन प्रकृतिप्रत्ययविभागसहितं तेषां शब्दानां विवरणं दीयते व्याकरणशास्त्रेण। अतः ये प्रश्नाः इदानीम् उद्भाविताः तेषां सर्वेषामपि प्रश्नानाम् उत्तरं व्याकरणशास्त्रेण दीयते। तदेव मुख्यं लक्ष्यं व्याकरणशास्त्रस्य। किन्तु एते प्रश्नाः they are specific to a particular word, that is they are questions regarding the different words that we find in the language. So if we have a word, any word, say vaidehi iti kaschit shabdah, tada tatra katham prakriti pratyaya vibhagah, kah sandhihi, samasah. So everything will concern specific words used in the language. But there are also questions concerning the word itself. So not specifically any word, किन्तु शब्दस्य विषये एव केचन प्रश्नाः भवन्ति. यथा शब्दः नाम कः? What is a word? सः कीदृशः? शब्दः नित्यः अथवा कार्यः? शब्देन अर्थः कथं प्रतीयते? एकस्य शब्दस्य श्रवणेन कथं वयम् अर्थम् अवगच्छामः? शब्दस्य अर्थस्य पदपदार्थयोः कः सम्बन्धः? कथं प्रतीयते? बहुषु अर्थेषु उपस्थितेषु कस्य अर्थस्य प्राधान्यम्? इत्येतादृशाः प्रश्नाः उद्भवन्ति. They are not questions regarding specific words of the language. They are questions about the word itself or the language itself. Okay. शब्दस्य विषये एव प्रश्नाः. So they are more fundamental as in there are different kinds of questions compared to the previous set. So एतेषां प्रश्नानाम् उत्तरं दीयते न केवलं व्याकरणशास्त्रेण. अस्माकं पदवाक्यप्रमाणशास्त्राणि सन्ति. So there are 3 shastras among our tradition which try to answer these questions. पदशास्त्रं नाम व्याकरणं, वाक्यशास्त्रं नाम मीमांसा, प्रमाणशास्त्रं नाम न्यायशास्त्रं. So all these shastras try to answer these questions because they are all concerned with word, maybe not specific words. Questions related to specific words are answered only by Vyakarana, and everybody accepts what Vyakarana says. So Paninina ayam samasah uktah athava ayam sandhihi uktah sarvairapi angikhriyate eva. Atra ayam sandhihi na anyah sandhihi iti kopi na vadati. अन्ये वैयाकरणाः वदेयुः, व्याकरणे एव अन्ये सम्प्रदायाः भवेयुः, किन्तु व्याकरणशास्त्रम् अतिरिच्य पूर्वं ये प्रश्नाः उद्भाविताः तेषाम् उत्तरं नान्येन केनापि शास्त्रेण दीयते. It is not under their purview, but Shabda itself is a concern for all shastras, because Mimamsa is a shastra which tries to understand the meaning of Vakyas, mainly Veda Vakyas, but also Vakyas. So for that they need to know what is Vakya. Vakyam nama kim, tatra Shabdaha athava padam nama kim, tasya kaha arthaha iti tu Mimamsa shastrena vaktavyameva. Tathaiva Nyaya Shastram. Nyaya Shastram is a Pramana Shastra which tells what are the Pramanas for knowledge. Shabdaha Pramanam. Sarvesham Astika Darshananam Shabdaha Pramanam. So because Shabda is a Pramana, they also carry out an analysis of Shabda. What is Shabda? How does it convey a meaning? What is the relation between Shabda and its meaning? How do we understand the meaning of a sentence? Shabda Bodhaha. All these. So when there are 3 shastras which are discussing the same things, so naturally there are differences of opinion. Okay. So each shastra has its own answer for these questions. Okay. So the questions: what is a word? What kind is it? Nityaha athava karyaha? कथम अर्थः प्रतीयते, पदपदार्थयोः कः सम्बन्धः, शाब्दबोधः कथं भवति, कस्य अर्थस्य प्राधान्यं. So for all these questions, all the shastras have answers. They might be agreeing in some aspects. They could also be different in many aspects. Okay. They are different. So each shastra has its own series of texts which defines their siddhanta and defend those conclusions. एवमेव व्याकरणशास्त्रं यदा पश्यामः तत्र व्याकरणग्रन्थपरम्परायां द्विविधाः ग्रन्थाः दृश्यन्ते. Since व्याकरण deals with both the first kind and the second kind of questions, तत्र प्रथमतः ये प्रश्नाः पृष्टाः, शब्दः कतिविधः, प्रकृतिप्रत्ययविभागः कथं, सन्धिः, समासः, कारकं, विभक्तिः, एतेषां प्रश्नानाम् उत्तराणि यत्र लभ्यन्ते ते ग्रन्थाः शाब्दिकग्रन्थाः, येषु शब्दस्य विषये चिन्तनं क्रियते. शब्दः, अर्थः, शब्दार्थयोः सम्बन्धः इत्येतेषां विषये येषु चिन्तनं क्रियते ते ग्रन्थाः आर्थिकग्रन्थाः अथवा दार्शनिकग्रन्थाः इत्युच्यन्ते। तत्र शाब्दिकग्रन्थाः अस्माभिः बहुधा अधीताः। तत्र मूलग्रन्थः अष्टाध्यायी, ततः सवार्तिकं महाभाष्यं। वृत्तिग्रन्थाः अष्टाध्याय्याः अर्थं बोधयितुम् उदाहरणानि च बोधयितुं प्रवृत्ताः बहवः ग्रन्थाः सन्ति। काशिकायाः व्याख्यानानि, शब्दकौस्तुभः इत्यादि सर्वे वृत्तिग्रन्थाः। प्रक्रियां साधयितुं प्रवृत्ताः सिद्धान्तकौमुदी, प्रक्रियासर्वस्वं, प्रक्रियाकौमुदी, रूपावतारः इत्यादयः बहवः ग्रन्थाः। तथैव प्रकरणग्रन्थाः, so granthas dealing with specific aspects of derivation of words, सेलिङ्गानुशासनं, धातुवृत्तिः, परिभाषेन्दुशेखरः, समासचक्रम. So all these are concerned only with specific words, their derivation, their usage. Okay, so they are all a certain kind of texts. आर्थिकग्रन्थाः अथवा दार्शनिकग्रन्थाः अपि सन्ति। तत्र मूलं महाभाष्यमेव, यतोहि अष्टाध्याय्याम् अस्य विषये साक्षात् कोऽपि विचारः न दृश्यते. So there are no sutras specifically for any of these. So Panini does not go into the meaning of a shabda or what kind etc. महाभाष्ये तु बहुत्र चर्चा दृश्यते, अतः अत्र मूलं महाभाष्यमेव। ततः वाक्यपदीयं भर्तृहरिणा विरचितः अयम् उद्ग्रन्थः वाक्यपदीयं कारिकारूपेण विद्यमानः ग्रन्थः। So there are three kandas in the Vakyapadiya. Brahmakandam, Padakandam, Vakyakandam iti त्रीणि काण्डानि सन्ति, येषु भर्तृहरिः एतेषां सर्वेषां विचारं प्रस्तौति, स्वीयं सिद्धान्तं च कथयति. So Bhartrhari was the first one who established the Vyakarana Darshana, that is Vyakarana not just as a Upaya Grantha, that is as a tool for study of other Shastras, but as an Upeya Shastra by itself. That is, an Upeya Shastra in our tradition is always that which leads to moksha or kaivalya or whatever we call it. So tenaiva sphotaha iti shabda brahmanaha swarupam. So like we have the Parabrahma, we have the Shabda Brahma, the Shabda itself as Parabrahma. Tasya pratipadanam sadhanam cha bhartriharina eva kritam. So tenaiva atayeva ete granthaha darshanika granthaha ityapi uchyante. So they established Vyakarana as a philosophy, okay, not just as grammar concerning words, but as a philosophy which analyzes the true meaning of pada padartha and leads you to the ultimate truth. So Vakyapadiyam asti. Tataha Vaiyakarana Siddhanta Karikaha iti Bhattoji Dikshitaihi Virachitaha. So you should note that the Shabdika Granthas or the Granthas of the first kind are numerous in Vyakarana literature. So continuously from Panini till today, like there is a continuous generation of various texts regarding this. But if you look at the Arthika Grantha Parampara, Mahabhashyam, Tataha Vakyapadiyam. Vakyapadiyam was composed around 4th or 5th century of the Common Era. That was his time. But after that, for almost 1,000 years, we do not have any prominent text belonging to this kind in Vyakarana Shastra. Anyeshu Shastreshu etadrishaha vicharaha pravruttaha. Kintu Vyakarana Shastre Arthika vicharan adhikritya pravruttaha granthaha na labhyante. So we do not know if they are lost over time or they were not composed. So after Bhartrhari in the 4th century AD, it is only Bhattoji Dikshita in the 16th century AD who brought this to the fore again. Okay. Tena virachitaha granthaha Vaiyakarana Siddhanta Karikaha अथवा वैयाकरण मतोन्मज्जन कारिकाः इत्युच्यन्ते. अत्यन्तं लघुः ग्रन्थः. So it's a very short grantha, only 74 shlokas. Okay, so it has only 72 or 74 shlokas in all. So teshu saha kevalam siddhantan kathayati vaiyakarana drishtya etesham vishaye ke siddhantaha iti kathayati. So the predominant texts of this kind were after Bhattoji Dikshita, both from his parampara, his tradition. The first was the two texts Vaiyakarana Bhushanam and Vaiyakarana Bhushana Saraha. So both of these were commentary on the Vaiyakarana Siddhanta Karika, but they do much more than just being a commentary. Okay, so in that Kaundabhattaha, Bhattoji Dikshitasya Bhratushputraha Kaundabhattaha, Bhattoji Dikshitasya Shishyopi, तेन वैयाकरणसिद्धान्तकारिकाणां व्याख्यानं क्रियते, विस्तृतं विवरणं च दीयते. So the purpose of Bhushanasara, as Kaundabhatta himself tells at the beginning of his text, is Siddhantan Upapattibhih Prakataye Tesham Vacho Dushaye. So his aim was, one, to establish the Siddhantas, that is the Siddhantas according to Vyakarana, and the second one is to do a Nirakarana of the Siddhantas according to other darshanas which are opposing Siddhantas. Ataha Purvapaksha Nirakarana Purvakam Vaiyakarana Siddhantanam Upasthapanam Anena Kriyate Kaundabhattena. Okay, so that Bhushanasara is the predominant text of the Arthika Parampara which is studied today, because it gives a comprehensive view of the Siddhantas of Vaiyakaranas regarding all the matters which are under that domain. So after Kaundabhatta, it was Nagesha Bhatta. So Nagesha Bhatta, whom we are going to study in detail. So he authored 3 texts all regarding this, called the Manjusha Trayi. Okay, so the first text is called Vaiyakarana Siddhanta Manjusha, okay, which is the biggest of the lot. So then we have the Laghu Manjusha and then the Paramalaghu Manjusha. Okay, 3 of them together are referred to as Manjusha Trayi. Trayaha api Arthika Granthaha Yatra Nageshasya Sviyaha Siddhantaha Prakatitaha. So Nagesha analyzes the Siddhantas of earlier Vaiyakaranas. He gives his own, and he is the one who has actually given a very solid shape to Darshanika Vichara or Arthika Vichara in Vyakarana. Okay. अतएव इदानीं यत्र अध्ययनं क्रियते आर्थिकग्रन्थानां तत्र प्राधान्येन भूषणसारस्य एवं मञ्जूषा, तत्रापि परमलघुमञ्जूषायाः लघुमञ्जूषायाश्च अध्ययनं क्रियते, कदाचित् वाक्यपदीयम् अधीयते. So वाक्यपदीयम्, it's only the Brahmakanda which is in the syllabus of most of the, I mean, even those who study Vyakarana at the postgraduate level, they study only the Brahmakanda. The bulk of Vakyapadiya is in the other 2 kandas, which unfortunately is not in mainstream study. Okay, so the Adhyayana Parampara itself has been lost. It's not commonly studied at all. So mainly, but Bhushanasara and the Manjushas are studied extensively for knowing the philosophy of Vyakarana. Okay, so that is the text that we are going to study, is one of these. So Granthasya Vishaye Kinchit Janimah. Kim bhavati Arthika Granthaha ityuchyate ke amshaha vicharyante kim bhavati asmin granthe. यदि शाब्दिकग्रन्थाः तत्र किं भवति इति वयं सर्वे जानीमः. सूत्राणि भवन्ति, सूत्रेभ्यः कथं लक्ष्याणां सिद्धिः इति भवति, का प्रक्रिया इत्यादि भवति. आर्थिकग्रन्थेषु किं भवति इति चेत् स्फोटः. स्फोट इस् द अल्टिमेट सिद्धान्त ऑफ वैयाकरण. स्फोटः नाम शब्दः. Okay, स्फोट इस् नथिंग वेरी बिग. शब्दः, किन्तु तस्य कथं वृत्त्याश्रयः शब्दः स्फोटः, अर्थप्रतिपादकः शब्दः, सः कीदृशः, तस्य किं स्वरूपम् इत्यादि विचार्यते. वृत्तिविचारः, पद-पदार्थयोः सम्बन्धः वृत्तिः. So how does a word convey its meaning? What is the relation between word and its meaning? Okay, that is what we call by vritti. Vrittihi tridha bhavati. Shaktihi lakshana vyanjana iti. Tesham vicharaha shaktihi namaka vyanjana namaka ityadi. साधुत्वम् अपभ्रंशः साधुत्वं नाम किं साधुशब्दः अपशब्दः इत्येतेषां कः भेदः इत्यादि विचार्यते बौद्धपदार्थः. So whenever we say there is a word and there is a meaning, say for example I say something like shashashrangam, the horn of a hare, a rabbit. So padamasti shashashrangam ityukte tasya avagamanamapi bhavati किन्तु पदार्थः नास्ति. We don't actually have a substance called shashashranga because hares do not have a horn. अतः बाह्यपदार्थं विना अपि padam padarthashcha bhavati. So even though the object actually doesn't exist, there is still pada and we do understand the pada, the artha, without an external substance. Okay, what we call the Bauddha padartha. So the padartha exists only in the buddhi and does not have a real existence. Okay, tasya विषये शाब्दबोधः यदा किञ्चित् वाक्यं श्रूयते कथं तस्माद् वाक्याद् अर्थः बुध्यते तत्र किं किम् आवश्यकं. What are the factors for shabdabodha? There is akanksha, yogyata, sannidhi, tatparyam, etc. So all these shabdabodhaः tat sahakari karanani इत्येते विचाराः. पुनश्च धात्वर्थः यत्र व्याकरणे भिन्नाः शब्दाः सन्ति. Okay, not just a complete word. पदं तु द्विविधमेव सुवन्तं तिङन्तं, किन्तु तत्र पुनः अवयवाः भवन्ति. धातुः अस्ति, लकारः अथवा तिङ् प्रत्ययः अस्ति, प्रातिपदिकम् अस्ति, सुप्रत्ययाः सन्ति. तत्र कस्य किं कः अर्थः, धातुना कः अर्थः बोध्यते, प्रत्ययेन कः अर्थः, कृत् प्रत्ययेन के अर्थाः बुध्यन्ते तद्धितैः वा, प्रातिपदिकस्य कोऽर्थः, सुप्रत्ययानां कारकाणां विभक्तीनां कोऽर्थः, समासः समासात् कथम् अर्थबोधः, नयादीनाम् अर्थः इत्येवं. The meanings of specific components of words. Okay, not just one word. As I said, all these are not concerned with any particular word. Regarding generally what does a dhatu convey, what does a lakara convey, etc. So ete sarvepi amshaः आर्थिकग्रन्थेषु विचार्यन्ते यथा भूषणसारे तथैव च मञ्जूषायाम्. इदानीं परमलघुमञ्जूषा इत्यस्माकं ग्रन्थः. तस्मात् पूर्वं तत् कर्तुः नागेशभट्टस्य विषये किञ्चित् जानीमः. नागेशभट्टः अथवा नागोजीभट्टः इत्युच्यते आधुनिकवैयाकरणेषु मूर्धन्यतमः. Without any doubt, the best among modern Vaiyakaranas was Nagesha Bhatta. Based on the extent of his writing and the depth of his writing, he is without a doubt one of the most intellectual scholars to have graced this field. Okay? A phenomenal scholar and a scholar with vast output of works, not just in Vyakarana. As we see, he was a very good scholar across all disciplines and he has composed works across all disciplines. Vyakarana is fortunate that his primary identity is as a Vaiyakarana. Okay. So Nagesha Bhattah vastutah Maharashtrabhijanah, Maharashtre jatah, Kashi nagare अध्ययनं कृतवान्. शृङ्गवेरपुरम् इति कश्चन किञ्चित् लघु संस्थानं तत्र रामः इति कश्चिन् नृपः तस्य आस्थाने सः आसीत्. somewhere in the north UP Bihar तत्र सः आसीत् इति ज्ञायते. So he is fairly recent grammarian. तस्य कालः सप्तदशशताब्देः उत्तरार्धः अष्टादशशताब्देः पूर्वार्धः. He lived long. He almost lived for 100 years. That is what they guess based on the number of works and references. So from the middle of the 17th century till the middle of the 18th century was his time. शिवभट्टसुतो धीमान् सतीदेव्यास्तु गर्भजः इति स्वयं वदति सः स्वस्य ग्रन्थे. पिता शिवभट्टः, माता सतीदेवी इति. तस्य व्याकरणगुरुः हरिदीक्षितः. हरिदीक्षितश्च भट्टोजी दीक्षितस्य पौत्रः, भट्टोजी दीक्षितस्य पुत्रः वीरेश्वर दीक्षितः, तस्य पुत्रः हरिदीक्षितः, हरिदीक्षितस्य शिष्यः नागेशभट्टः। अतः भट्टोजी दीक्षितस्य शिष्यपरम्परायामेव उत्पन्नः। हरिदीक्षित is known for his commentary on the Praudha called Shabdaratna. Okay. So some people say Nagesha himself wrote Shabdaratna and passed it off as his gurus. So, but it is commonly accepted to be that of Haridikshita. Tasya Shishyah Nagesha Bhattah. Saha Ashtadashavaram Sampurnasya Mahabhashyasya Adhyayanam Kritavan iti pratiti. 18 times the entire Mahabhashya he studied directly with the help of his guru. Okay. So today, I mean, for a comparison, what a Vyakarana student studies today is called the Navanhika. The Mahabhashya has 85 Anhikas. So what, whether syllabus wise or otherwise, they study normally today is 9 Anhikas, of which, I mean, if you are studying in a university syllabus, half of which remains undone. So that is how we study today, and that is how he studied. Okay. I mean, that is evident from every text of Nagesha Bhatta. He uses Mahabhashya to defend all his theories. Okay. So to prove one point, he will quote from seven or eight quotations from the Mahabhashya like this. Okay. I mean, to imagine 300 years ago, today to find something in a Mahabhashya, so you go online, there is a searchable text and you search and you find out, okay, this is where it is. 300 years ago, with none of the tools, he had the entire Mahabhashya in his head and could quote any time from any portion of the Mahabhashya freely. I mean, if you look at any of his texts, that is the thing which always strikes, how much he relies on the Mahabhashya and how efficiently he uses the Mahabhashya to support what he's saying. Okay, it's a very amazing achievement. He was also very strong in Nyaya Shastra. Ramarama Bhattacharyah iti kaschid guruः tasmat Nyayashastram adhitya saha Nyayashastre api atyantam nishnatah. That is why his texts have an influence of the Nyaya style. If you look at the there is that particular style called the Tarkika Shaili, okay, which is most commonly found mostly in Nagesha's text rather than in any other. It shows his training, so he was able to argue in using their style of argumentation. तस्य शिष्यपरम्परायां प्रमुखः वैद्यनाथपायगुण्डे अथवा बालम्भट्टः इति सः नागेशस्य ग्रन्थानां बहूनां व्याख्यानं विरचय्य prasiddhah. So he has written some very good commentaries on the text of Nagesha, due to which we are able to understand Nagesha to some extent. Okay. Nagesha Bhattasya Kritayah. How many works did Nagesha compose? 93 was the total number. Okay. So I don't know if we would even read 93 such texts, and they are not small books or booklets. Okay, so they're like huge texts, especially in Vyakarana. Many of them are commentaries on huge texts and themselves are huge in size. Tatra Vyakarana Shastre Shadvimshatihi Granthaha, Chaturdasha Smriti Vishayakaha Granthaha, Evam Alankara Shastre, Dharma Shastre, Stotrani, Ramayanasya Vyakhyanam, Koshaha Ahatya Trinavatihi Granthaha Nageshena Virachitaha. Okay, so as I said, a phenomenal output of a phenomenal scholar. Shastraikanishtah eka katha api asti Nageshasya vishaye. Yaha evam, to compose that many texts, you can imagine what was the dedication he had towards the Shastra. So he did not have any children. Okay, kadachit kenachit prishtam katham rinatrayam tu bhavati, tatra katham santatim vina ऋणस्य विमोचनं तव इति तेन तत्र मञ्जूषायाः लघुमञ्जूषायाः अन्ते स्वयम् उच्यते शब्देन्दुशेखरं पुत्रं मञ्जूषां चैव कन्यकां स्वमतौ सम्यगुत्पाद्य शिवयोरर्पितौ मया. Shabdendu Shekhara, the commentary on Siddhanta Kaumudi. Okay, Laghu Shabdendu Shekhara. So Shabdendu Shekharam Putram Manjusham Chaiva Kanyakam. The Manjusha as the girls. Swamatau Swasya Buddhau Samyak Utpadya Shivayoho Maya Arpitau. Shivayoho. So he uses Shlesha. Shiva here refers to Shiva and Shiva, which is Parvati Parameshwarau. Swasya Pitarau Api. Puramuktam Shiva Bhattaha एवं सती देवी इति तस्य पितरौ अतः पितुः परम्परा सिद्ध्यर्थम् अयमेव शब्देन्दुशेखरः एव पुत्रः मञ्जूषा एव पुत्री इतीयं नागेशभट्टस्य शास्त्रनिष्ठा. Okay, so each one of his texts is a gem in itself and requires a very deep study. Okay, so they are not texts which are easy texts nor for beginners, but as I said, very deep. Okay, on Vyakarana. Tatra pramukhaha Vyakarana granthaha eva idanim uchyante. So the first one, the most prominent, is the Udyota. Udyota is a commentary on Kayyata's Pradipa, which itself is a commentary on the Mahabhashya. So Mahabhashyasya Vyakhya-dvayam sarvairadhiyate. Ekam tu Kayyata-kritaha Pradipaha. Okay, so Pradipa is the primary Vyakhyana for Mahabhashya. So Pradipasya Vyakhyanam Udyotaha. Okay, so Pradipa Udyota Sahitam Mahabhashyameva Prayena Adhiyate Asmabhihi. Siddhanta Kaumudyaha Vyakhyana-dvayam asti. Brihat Shabdendu Shekharaha, Laghu Shabdendu Shekharaha. Okay, so we see this in style in many cases of Nagesha, where he writes a text in the beginning, and as he matures as a Vyakarana, he refines and restructures and also makes it concise. Okay, so his works come in two versions. So the Shabdendu Shekhara has two, Brihat Shabdendu Shekhara and the Laghu Shabdendu Shekhara, of which Laghu Shabdendu Shekhara is more concise. It is not the reverse. He doesn't write a small book first and then expand it. Okay, actually he writes very extensively in the beginning and then he makes it concise and more exact. Okay, so Adau Brihat Shabdendu Shekharaha, Anantaram Laghu Shabdendu Shekharaha. Laghu Shabdendu Shekhara is the better Vyakhyana, has been with relation to the Siddhantas. Shabdakaustubhaha Dikshitanam Ashtadhyayi Vrittihi Shabdakaustubhaha iti Tadvyakhanam Vishami Athava Vishamapadi. So this text is currently not edited, not available. So one of the Western scholars is currently editing it. Not sure when it would be available. Paribhashendu Shekharaha, one of the most important independent works in Vyakarana Sampradaya, which collects and debates on the various paribhashas. Kaha paribhashaha, kaha arthaha kimudaharanam, is it valid or not? So Paribhashendu Shekhara considers more than 130 paribhashas. Anantaram Manjusha. So as I said, Manjusha comes in three versions: Guru Manjusha, Laghu Manjusha and Parama Laghu Manjusha. So that atirichyapi anya granthaha santi, Sphotavadaha ityadayaha Laghu granthaha, but these are the predominant works of Nagesha Bhatta. Manjusha Trayi ityuktam. Tatra Prathamaha Granthaha, the one which was first composed by Nagesha Bhatta, was the Vaiyakarana Siddhanta Manjusha. Saeva Adau Tena Virachita. So in the commentaries of Laghu Manjusha, his student, that is Vaidyanatha Payangunde, refers to it as Guru Manjusha, that is the bigger one. Okay, so it is much bigger in size. प्राचीनतमः इत्युक्ते मञ्जूषा त्रय्याम् अत्यन्तं प्राचीनः सः ग्रन्थः, अत एव च अनिष्कृष्टः. It is not as exact, or they actually, I mean, it's a very fantastic, fascinating study to see the evolution of Nagesha as a Vaiyakarana through his different granthas. Okay, so Vaiyakarana Siddhanta Manjushayam ye Siddhantaha Pratipaditāha te prayena Kaundabhattasya Siddhantan Anusrutya. So he has mostly followed the path of Kaundabhatta and presented his arguments in a similar way. But when he comes to the Siddhanta Laghu Manjusha, so which is a shorter version, but it is much more precise. नागेश सिद्धांत विषये प्रमाणभूतः ग्रन्थः लघुमञ्जूषा. Okay, it is the one which he composed towards the end of his life, when he had refined his own opinions, he had formed his siddhanta regarding everything. So for anything regarding the actual siddhanta of Nagesha Bhatta, Laghumanjusha is the final word. It is the most refined and the best among the three Manjushas. So then we have the Paramalaghu Manjusha, which is much smaller, as the name suggests. Laghumanjushayaha Sankshipta Rupam. It is supposed to be a concise version of the Laghumanjusha. Laghumanjushayam ye siddhantaha kathitaha teshameva sankshepaha Paramalaghumanjushayam ityuchyate kintu बहुत्र मञ्जूषायाः सिद्धान्तानां विषये तथा परमलघुमञ्जूषायाः सिद्धान्तानां विषये भेदः दृश्यते. So there are many cases where we see a difference in what he says in Laghu Manjusha and what is said in the Paramalaghu Manjusha. Okay. So there are many cases where Paramalaghu Manjusha seems to follow Kaunda Bhatta more than Nagesha Bhatta. So there are questions regarding the style. अतः संदिग्धकर्तृकं परमलघुमञ्जूषा नागेशेनैव विरचिता वा न वा इत्यत्र कश्चित् सन्देहः अस्ति. There are some people who say that it might not be Nagesha's, किन्तु बहवः मन्यन्ते नागेशस्यैव ग्रन्थः इति. So whatever it is, those subtleties are for Praudha Adhyayana. Okay, so for those who have studied in depth Laghu Manjusha and Paramalaghu Manjusha, so they do debate on, okay, which is, what are the finer points in which the two texts vary and what is his actual Siddhanta, etc. But for a beginner, Paramalaghu Manjusha is one of the best texts to get into the Arthika Parampara of Vyakarana. Okay, it is one of the, as I said, there are only two texts. One is Bhushanasara and the other is Paramalaghu Manjusha. Paramalaghu Manjusha covers many aspects that Bhushanasara does not touch. Okay, so in that way, its range is more. Also, it is rather easier in a way to appreciate the Siddhanta. Vastutah kaha Siddhantaha, and without going too much into depth, you can understand what they are saying. Okay, so Paramalaghu Manjusha is the text that we will be studying in this course. So Paramalaghu Manjushayaha Vishayaha evam santi. Tatra adau shaktihi lakshana vyanjana ityetesham vicharah prastuyate. So these are the vrittis. Padapadarthayo sambandhaha vrittihi. Tatra vrittihi tridha bhavati. Shaktihi lakshana vyanjana iti. तासां निरूपणं क्रियते. ततः स्फोटः, वस्तुतः स्फोटादेव आरभ्यते ग्रन्थः. पुनः स्फोटस्य भेदाः तेषां विवरणं दीयते. ततः शाब्दबोधसहकारी कारणानि, शाब्दबोधे अपेक्ष्यन्ते आकांक्षा, योग्यता, आसक्तिः, तात्पर्यं. सो एतेषां निरूपणं दृश्यते. ततः धात्वर्थः, निपातार्थः, लकारार्थः, कारकार्थः, नामार्थः, समासादिवृत्त्यर्थः इत्येवं 14 अध्यायाः सन्ति Paramalaghu So those who have studied the Bhushanasara will notice that the Bhushanakasara covers only these, okay, Dhatvartha, etc. and Sphota. Okay, so the stuff on Shakti, Lakshana, Vyanjana or the Shabda Bodha Sahakari Karanani are not found in Bhushanasara. Paramalaghu Manjusha includes those. So even among the common stuff regarding the Dhatvartha, etc. and Sphota, there are variations in what Kaunda Bhatta says and what Nagesh Bhatta says. Okay. So ayam yam Purvapethika Granthasya. Any questions? येऽपि प्रश्नाः सन्ति वा? So एकः प्रश्नः अस्ति, as a final word, Is Laghu Manjusha taken as Pramana or Bhushanasara? It depends on which party you are on. Okay, so there are two streams of thought. There are some who accept the Bhattoji Dikshita tradition and there are some who accept the Nagesha tradition. So Dikshita Matanuyayinaha, Nagesha Matanuyayinaha iti bhedaha asti. अतः दीक्षितमतानुय यत्र भेदः दृश्यते सिद्धान्ते एव भेदः तत्र दीक्षितमतानुयायिनः कौण्डभट्टोक्तं प्रमाणं मन्यन्ते नागेशमतानुयायिनः नागेशोक्तं प्रमाणं मन्यन्ते. Okay, so if you do not have a specific this standing on the parampara itself, you can go through that yourself and decide. I mean, it's for each one to see what sounds better or more logical in some. Okay. So there is no such deciding authority. See, Vyakarana Sampradaye अष्टाध्यायी वार्तिकं भाष्यं भाष्यं परमप्रमाणं तदनन्तरं वैयाकरणैः यदुक्तं तत्सर्वं स्वस्य. So there is a related question regarding this. So what difference would there be if the same topic is discussed by so many different people? Haven't the Vaiyakaranas come on a final point together? No, see, that is the richness or the beauty of our Shastra literature. You don't have to agree. There is no, one final deciding body which will decide, okay, is Nagesha right or is Kaundabhatta correct? And we don't have a deciding authority. So the authority stops with the Mahabhashya. After that, it is all what the author writes and how well he can defend his arguments. So any student of Vyakarana can study. You can study what Kaundabhatta says, you can study what Nagesha says, and you can decide which of them sounds right. Okay, I mean, there are different ways in which they approach. For some questions, there could not be an answer. I mean, you cannot decide. There are some factors. So that is when, I mean, that is what Shastra does. It refines thinking. Okay, so there could be two views of the same object which could both be correct. Okay. Some cases we know that one of the arguments seems more tenable than the others. Okay. So they are all open arguments. There is no verdict on anything. So Nagesha says this, Dikshita says this. What is your, I mean, you are also of course free to say that both of them are wrong and there is something else, some other aspect to be considered. Okay. So Vadaha Prativadaha, so it is the lifeline of our tradition. So there is no Vada which is final or that you have to accept something. It is always there is a choice. So now the question. So there are Siddhantas by Dikshita which are not in accordance with Bhashya. On the contrary, does Nagesha always stay in the limits of Bhashya? No, see, that is the thing. Both of them draw their arguments from the Bhashya. So the Bhashya itself, if you read the Mahabhashya, if you study any portion of the Mahabhashya, we will know that it is not always very easy to understand what the Bhashyakara himself says or what he means. So there are many cases where the Mahabhashya takes two completely opposite views of the same topic in different contexts. Okay. So in such cases, what was Bhashyakara's original mata? What was Purva Paksha? It is very difficult to understand. See, that is why it is difficult to say whether this is right or wrong, because the interpretation of the Bhashya itself is multiplicity is possible. The same thing or the same Vakyas could be interpreted differently by different ways. Neither of them goes against the Mahabhashya at all. So both of them say this is based on the Mahabhashya. So what are the arguments from the Mahabhashya does Nagesha provide? What are the arguments that Kaundabhatta provide? So that is where we as students of Vyakarana should put our effort and see what the Bhashya is saying and which of them sounds this. Okay. Neither of them will, no Vaiyakarana of the Paniniya Parampara will go against the Bhashya. He will not say Bhashyakara says this but it is wrong. Okay. He will justify his view based on what is said in the Mahabhashya. But since the Mahabhashya itself is such a huge text and such a deep text, multiple interpretations are always possible. I mean, see, for simple stotras, we have multiple interpretations. So what then of such texts? Any other questions? Okay, so for the study of the Paramalaghu Manjusha, we will go by the Moola Grantha rather than the slides. So unlike my usual the practice, I do prepare presentations for most of my courses, but for this text, for two reasons. So one is the lack of time, because some students are preparing for the exams which are in April or May, so we have to get through a significant portion of the text by then. So one reason, but an even more important reason for me is that at this level of Vyakarana, you should be able to read a Moola Grantha with the help of a commentary and understand a bit. Okay, so after this level, nobody will teach you. I mean, whichever level you are studying, if you are studying MA, so after it, you should be in a position where you are teaching the students and not you will not. There are very few teachers who will be available to teach you, or even me. Okay, I mean, that's what I did. So we should learn to read a text Moola Grantha with the help of commentary and try to understand what it says. So Ayam Granthasya Moolameva Pathamaha. So this is the text. This is available for free download from Digital Library of India. I have provided the link in the course page, so you can download and keep a copy. If you have a copy of the Paramalaghu Manjusha, you can always refer to it. There are newer editions, okay, with both Sanskrit and Hindi commentaries. Different Chaukamba officers, they have published different editions of Paramalaghu Manjusha. You can refer to any of them which you feel comfortable, but for the class we will be studying using this text. So the Paramalaghu Manjusha, it comes with a commentary by Sadashiva Shastri. Okay. So the Arthadipika is the name of the commentary. So we will be studying this text with the help of this commentary. So yatra apekshitam tatra adhikaha amshaha uchyante. Vargasya ante, I will try to summarize what we studied in the class through slides, but mainly we'll be relying on this for studying. Okay. So Iyam Anukramanika, these are the 14 chapters in Paramalaghu Manjusha. Paramalaghu Manjushayaha Mangala Shlokaha Ayam Shivam Natva hi Nageshe Nanindya Paramalaghuh Vayyakarana Siddhanta Manjushaisha Virachyate iti Mangala Shlokaha. Shivam Natva hi Nageshena Anindya Paramalaghuh Vayyakarana Siddhanta Manjushaisha Virachyate. Sulabhaha Shlokaha Nageshena Maya Nageshena Shivam Natva Parameshwaram Namaskratya Esha Paramalaghuh Vayyakarana Siddhanta Manjusha. So Granthasya Nama Vayyakarana Siddhanta Manjusha. Paramalaghuh, extremely short or concise Manjusha. Maya Nageshena Virachyate iti Anvayaha. So I have highlighted a few points in the Vyakhyana. We will not be reading the entire Vyakhyana in class. Ye amshaha apekshitaha iti bhasante tan pathamaha. You can always go through the other portions by yourself and ask if you have any questions. So Mangala Shlokaha Sarvesham Granthanam Adau Likhyate eva Sampradayaha. Mangaladini Mangalamadhyani Mangalantani cha Shastrani Prathante Veerapurushakani cha Bhavanti Ayushmat Purushani cha Adhyetarascha Vruddhiyukta yatah syuhu iti Mahabhashyam. Tatra Vruddhiradai iti sutre Vruddhipadam Adau Mangalartham उपादीयते इति सिद्धान्तः तत्र महाभाष्यकारेण एवम् उच्यते Mangaladini, Mangalamadhyani, Mangalantani cha Shastrani prathante. So any Shastra, it begins, ends and in the middle, throughout it is a Mangalam, auspicious. That is the characteristic of a Shastra. Okay. So Adhyetarascha Vruddhiyukta Yatasyuhu. So that that is the Vruddhiradais. Adhyetrinam Vruddhi sadhanartham Vruddhi rupam Mangalam kritam paninina iti vadati. Ataha ayam Mangala shlokah tatra Shivam natva ityatra shleshah upayujyate nageshena. Tatra Shivaha निस्त्रैगुण्य मंगलस्वरूपः परमेश्वरः शिवं नाम मंगलम कल्याणं मंगलम शुभम इत्यत्र शिवम् इत्यस्ति अतः मंगलस्वरूपः परमेश्वरः इत्यर्थः अथवा शिवं शिवसदृशं स्वपितरम् इत्यर्थः शिवभट्टः इति तस्य पिता अतः पितुः अपि श्लेषेण निर्देशः अत्र दृश्यते वैयाकरण सिद्धांत मंजूषा वैयाकरणानां पाणिन्यादीनां ये सिद्धान्ताः तेषां मंजूषा इव मंजूषा. So manjusha is a jewel box, okay, a box in which you place jewels. So iyam manjusha yatra vayyakarana siddhantaah eva abharana bhutaah. So it is a jewel box for the siddhantas of vayyakaranas. Yatha samputakah nama manjusha sakala mani muktadinam sangrahakah तथा अयमपि मंजूषाख्यो ग्रंथः सकल वैयाकरण सिद्धांत संग्राहकः इति भावः. So just like the manjusha collects all the jewels, the pearls or whichever jewel stones, so this text manjusha tries to collect all vayyakarana siddhantas. So sakala vayyakarana siddhanta sangrahakah vayyakaranaanam sarvepi siddhantaah atra uchyante iti. So as I said, it is more vistruta than the Bhushanasara. Okay. So Mangalenaiva adya samaptim kurmaha. Agrimaha granthaha agrimavarge patishyate. So we will have a class tomorrow again. Tomorrow same time 9:30 to 10:30. After that the classes will usually be on Monday, Wednesday and Friday same time. There could be some minor variations depending on other things. Okay. So there's a question, what is being highlighted is not the text of the book, it is the commentary. Yes, the text is what appears above the horizontal line. So the text we will be studying in full. Okay. So what comes above the horizontal line is the main text. So the text we will study everything. I mean, line by line and word by word. So from the commentary, since it is quite large, I will be highlighting only some relevant statements which will help in understanding the text. Okay, so we will be going into only those in the commentary. The text which is above the horizontal line we will be studying fully. Any other questions? येनाक्षरसमाम्नायमधिगम्य महेश्वरात् कृत्स्नं व्याकरणं प्रोक्तं तस्मै पाणिनये नमः. वाक्यकारं वररुचिं भाष्यकारं पतञ्जलिं पाणिनिं सूत्रकारं च प्रणतोऽस्मि मुनित्रयम्. शिवं नत्वा हि नागेशेनानिन्द्या परमालघुः वैयाकरणसिद्धान्तमञ्जूषैषा विरच्यते. धन्यवादाः.